Well, hello, this is Linda Carbonell from Life School 101 and Walking Through Life TV show. I'm joined here with a co-host, Mary Adams, and we are interviewing Chico Eastridge from CATV. Now, Chico's a great person to have. What?
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Chico, so we're going to talk a little bit about you today. Is that all right?
That's all right with me.
Yeah. So, well, one thing's for sure is that you've been a great help here at the studio, some of the things that you've done, you know. I mean, it's like you are studio manager plus the educational outreach person. That means that you teach editing and everything else, right?
Yeah, so I have kind of two functions. If people want to have a TV show like you, they come in here. Oh, I just bumped my elbow. And they say I want to have a TV show, and I try to help them realize that vision. And so you've been a great help in pushing the technical boundaries of CATV. Before you had this idea for Life School 101, I don't think we'd ever done this thing with things in boxes. And people at home might see that I keep looking to the left because I'm trying to make sure that everything is actually running the way it's supposed to, and I've got a monitor up here, so sorry if I don't maintain eye contact. But then also we have people come in, they want to learn how to edit, and I can help with that. I also run our summer camps, which are coming right up, so we'll kind of take a break for things in the studio while we're doing that. And throughout the year, sometimes there are school groups that come in, and I give them kind of primers on filmmaking. Oh, I think I left a phone in there. We are also live. You could call in if you want. I don't think
that's a good idea.
This is probably not a call for us. But here, let me try and figure out how. If you want to call us, you can call 408-638-0968, and then a robot's going to talk to you. And then you could call, you type in 529-150-2994 and a pound, and you'll be just in this conversation with us. I don't know what we'll talk to you about, but you could do that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good. Let's see if we can get some people to call.
Yeah, I'll bring that number up a few times throughout the show.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. And if I hear that phone ring again, I might run into your room and grab that. Yeah.
So I'm now going to get Mary into the conversation too.
Sure.
Because I know we want to talk about definitely not only how you helped us, but how we're learning things too. So Mary, you want to comment on that?
Oh, I sure do. And, one of the things that I want to say is that I am so excited to be doing this show with you as our guest. You are the behind the scenes guy, and you really make every piece of this happen. It's amazing the technology that we can be doing this from anywhere in the U.S. So will you tell everybody a little bit more about that behind the scenes job that you do?
Yeah.
Sure thing. So you can kind of see behind me, I've got this big monitor and this switching thing. If I crank this thing up and down, you get this number, which you can use to call us live. It is 408-638-0968, then 529-150-2994, pound, and then you'll have to push pound again. And so this is one thing I've got in here. I'm a bit hesitant to move this camera around, but then I've got a soundboard over here, and I've got lights in the studio. I've got a microphone up above me, which I can use to just talk to you two. And I've got kind of computers all over the place. I've got a camera up above me just to, maybe we can edit this into the internet version that won't be live, but I've got this camera kind of showing what this little room looks like, and I've got wires going everywhere and lights everywhere. Yeah, and so it's complex, and it's challenged us to figure out how to actually make this work, and it's kind of a funny slap together sort of system, but the end result is a television show with people calling in from all over the place, and that's been real interesting and rewarding. So thank you guys for having this idea for a show.
Yeah, and I wanted to comment too about the calling in, if you would like to call in, you know, especially if you have any questions about how CATV's run, or if you're interested in getting or having a show, or whatever it is that you're interested in, you can call him and talk to Chico. He's in the studio right now. I'm not exactly sure what the number is. But another thing I want to say is to have your own series, it's absolutely free. So, yeah, a lot of people misconstrue that. They think they have to pay, but it is free.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So you want to give that number again? Because we want to get some people on the phone.
Sure thing. Let's see if we get anybody. So that number is 408-638-0968. And then a robot lady is going to talk to you, and she's going to say to enter a meeting ID, and that meeting ID number is 529-150-2994. And then you hit pound, or the hash mark, as some people want to say, and then you'll click it again because it'll ask you for another ID, but you just push that pound button again, and then you're in this meeting.
How cool is that?
How cool is that?
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. What do you think about that, Mary? We need to get some people on the phone here.
Absolutely. I love this live possibility of interacting with people all over the place. And so this is an exciting new leap in what we're doing with Life School 101 TV and Walking Through Life. Very exciting. I want to ask you, Chico, can you tell us more about the summer camps? I've heard a lot about it, but I think our viewers would really enjoy hearing more.
Sure thing. This summer we've got 4 camps lined up, actually kind of 5. We're starting out with beginner camp, which is in some ways my favorite one, because we have kind of these odd open-ended games kind of to play with video and editing, and it's kind of experimental. You're not necessarily working on, like, a lot of kids come in and they have the idea that they'll make an entire movie, and I try to avoid that because a lot of the time that's not really realistic. It's not really going to happen. You're going to end up with something that is not so great. But I think I've found a few things that are interesting to do that get your chops up on editing and shooting and storytelling that are fun. And everyone can get involved, and I'm trying to think about what some of them actually are. I'll maybe come back to that in a second, but then that's followed up. Week 2, I believe we're doing news media camp, which is kind of what it sounds like. We've got kids going out on the street with microphones, talking to people on the street. We'll be doing some profiles where we sit some people down and talk to them about what it is they do. And kind of things like that, more sort of analytical, documentary style sort of stuff. And that's generally the least popular camp, but it's also kind of one of the more interesting ones, and maybe one of the ones that can get you into some sort of career in filmmaking quicker. That's where a lot of work actually is. And then there's advanced camp, which is more about storytelling, and so that's kind of focused on slowing down a bit. We don't make as many videos in advanced camp because we're more focused on increasing the quality of the videos and putting some sort of narrative arc into the videos, so it takes time to develop those things, and we do pre-production, production, and post-production. We kind of break things down a bit more. And then we're going to wrap up our series of camps with vlogging camp, which last summer when we were doing these camps, I realized that all kids want to grow up to be YouTubers now. That seems to be the career path of choice. And so I thought, why not make a camp based around that, if that's what they want. And so it's going to be more about like either a solo person talking to a camera, or doing just kind of funny viral sort of things, and that has a lot. That's going to be a complex week. There's a lot of moving parts to that one, but I think it has the highest chance for failure and the highest chance for success. It's high risk, high rewards. And then after that, we happen to be collaborating with a local karate dojo. They want to do a martial arts kung fu film camp. And so they're going to work on choreography, and I'm going to work on putting that choreography onto video with them. And so that should be a kind of nice ease out of it, because I won't be running it. I'm just going to be assisting with it. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, Mary, I don't know what you feel about this, but I wanted to ask you, Chico, too. Well, mainly is this has been some sort of a passion for you, TV and producing shows and helping people be able to really get their point across, and you've done so much for Walking Through Life and Life School, and I know you've had to put up with some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, things go wrong. That's the nature of the beast with video. And we're an extremely small crew here at CATV. In the studio, generally, I'm the only one in here. And so, sometimes, a lot of the time, I feel like I'll start a show and I'll have the cameras all locked down and the lights all right, and I'll tell whoever's on camera, all right, we're good to go, we're rolling, and they'll start the show, and then immediately I'll notice something that I wish I had fixed, just like maybe you can see like an extension cord on the ground, or the camera's not quite as centered as I would have liked. It always seems to happen right after I push record, and in like a big studio, I would have a wireless headset, and I'd have people on all the cameras, and I would cut away from the camera that I want to adjust, and I would talk to the person and be like, hey, can you move that camera a little bit to the right, or something like that, and then I could cut back to them. But here, sometimes I might cut to a safe shot and then go in and adjust a camera real quick and then run back and then try to edit. But so I'm editing live right behind me, so I can switch to all these different views by clicking some buttons. And yeah, so I can't always get away from this desk, and I'm also mixing live. I've got a audio mixer over here. But I like to help people. I like when people have ideas that they're passionate about and they want to produce, and I want to help them do a good job. And it's fun, yeah. Yeah,
it is a lot of fun. Go ahead, Mary.
I have a new name for you, the Wizard of CATV. Honestly, and I have a great respect for you. I helped co-create a radio network 7-8 years ago, and when we got started, it was a lot of technical challenges, especially then to do an online internet radio station. And it's really exciting when you start putting these pieces together. And so I'm really grateful, because it takes an incredible human, a lot of patience, and some education, and to not be afraid to jump in, and there's going to be problems and mistakes, and you also know you're going to figure them out. So thank you, Chico.
Yeah, for Thanks. Sure. For sure. I can't even talk today, Chico. What's up?
That's all right.
So I've been looking forward to this little chat with Chico. I've been having a wonderful time, and I always have. And you've always made me feel comfortable, and I can't ask a stupid question when I do the editing, because to you, nothing's stupid. It's okay. Just go ahead and ask, And you've got a wonderful personality for being able to do this. But can we talk a little bit about your history and what you've been doing? Because I'm aware that you're very musical. Mm-hmm. So maybe we could talk about that a little bit.
Sure, yeah. I like playing music. I grew up in a musical family. I grew up in a recording studio right outside of Washington, D.C. called Big Mo Studios, but then moved up here. Hey, there's that phone. Maybe it's a caller.
Hey,
I'm going to run out the booth real quick.
Yay! Come on, caller. Let's see.
Maybe Lauren answered it.
Huh?
Well, if Lauren answers it, it's a caller. Maybe she'll bring them in. I'm going to grab the phone, though. This is made for exciting television.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Right.
Let's have our first caller. Woo-hoo.
So I've got that phone now.
Yeah.
It was in the sound booth. Linda and I are one room away from each other, so I had to run over there and get it. Again, that number is 408-638-0968, then 529-150-2994, pound, then pound again. What was I talking about? My history?
Yeah, your musical history.
My musical history, that's right. And So I moved up here when I was very young, and then learned the drums, and then guitar, and then some piano. I like to sing. Before this job, I was working at my old high school, Thetford Academy, and I got to play with their band. I picked up trombone, which I haven't played since then, so I probably can't play trombone anymore, but who knows. But yeah, and I've got a little studio where I practice with some friends, and we like to play music, and I've been working on making it kind of a recording studio, and so I hope to record other people's bands, and yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Wow.
Yeah, wait a minute. We got to talk about the awards that are all over your desk, plus the band outfits that you got.
Sure. So my desk, maybe later we can edit in a photo. My desk is covered with karate trophies, which I like to claim are because I'm very good at karate, which is probably why I have, nearly 30 karate trophies.
Yeah.
That may not be a true statement, but there is a possibility that it is. We haven't figured it out yet. And then, I like to check out, I like to keep my eye on state surplus auctions, which is where I got my car. I've got an old cop car that's gold and silver, and I've gotten a bunch of instruments through them, but I also one day got 150 marching bands for about $80. And they're out in Syracuse, New York, which is about 6 hours away. And I drove out there, and I picked up all these marching band uniforms, and one of the custodians came out and helped me pack them up, and we put them in my trailer and put them in, and they fit perfectly. And I remember saying to him, wow, these fit perfect. I wonder what's going to go wrong. And it was the coldest day of the year, and I was driving down the interstate, and one of my tires essentially came off. It was kind of still attached to the car, but it had detached from the hubcap. It was making this awful noise, and so I got out of the car on the side of the highway, and I started taking out all the marching band uniforms and stuffing them into my car until just every single centimeter of the car was filled with marching band uniforms, which I don't think is a problem most people have ever had before. But then I called AAA, signed up for AAA so that they could tow my trailer. And once they signed me up, they told me that they don't tow trailers. And so I decided to just drag it up the interstate into the next town. And I just went into the next town, and I called my wife, and she got on the internet and directed me to the nearest auto place. And it was late at night, but there happened to be people there. And they said they would fix it up, and so I left it there, and I came back a few weeks later and got my trailer, and it still had some marching. I couldn't fit all the marching band uniforms in there, but got them all, and now I have 150 marching band uniforms. Well, I probably have a few less. I give them away every now and then, but my dream is to someday have a marching band where nobody's playing an instrument. Everyone's just humming their parts, and we walk down the streets of White River Junction.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'd like to join.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's invited.
Hey, did you know I played the drums for a little while when I was younger?
Really?
Yeah. It didn't last very long.
Well, we'll have to get you on a drum set again.
Well, I know. My father wanted me to follow him in his footsteps. He was a drummer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I took it for a little while and then just didn't. I was really good at being a woman wrestler, though. I took that in school.
Oh, yeah?
Wrestling, yeah.
We should get you back in the ring.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Although I don't think my legs would go up as high as it needs to go to do the wrestling part.
Yeah.
Well, and he has a costume for you.
In costume, yeah.
I'm just taking a look at our time. We've still got some time. Teddy's musical, though, isn't he? Doesn't he play guitar or something?
Yes, he plays guitar. He plays. He likes Johnny Cash or Waylon Jennings, or his favorite singer is Tim Brick, who's the one that wrote the theme song for Walking Through Life. Uh-huh. And he likes Jimmy Dixon, and he plays. We'll get the old country music on, and then he'll bring out his guitar and play, and he'll sing until I start singing, and then he'll stop and say, "No, you can't sing."
Yeah. And Mary, are you musical at all? Have you mentioned that?
Yeah, I've been taking, well, so I started out very musical when I was young. When I was 5, I started playing the violin, started playing the piano at about 3, the organ. In the 70s, we had one of those organs.
Yeah.
And then played guitar, played all sorts of instruments, and then also sang, was in honor choirs from the age of probably about 6th grade all the way through college.
Wow.
And then have been picking it up lately. I'm getting into jazz and just some different genres. It's been a while since I sang, so it's kind of new again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really enjoying being a little older and a little more mature because my tastes have changed. So it's a really exciting time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could put together a band.
We totally should become a band.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if anybody out there has any more questions for us, for Chico, if you have a musical interest, call us or how do you do that, Chico? We'll tell them.
Let's see, I always have to have to cut to me to look at the number. The number is 408-638-0968. Then 529-150-2994. This is going out live to Hartford, Lebanon, Hanover, Norwich, and Hartford. I think I said Heartland first.
Yeah.
And so you've got about 10 minutes to call us if you're around. It's 12:35 according to this computer, although I think it might be a minute and a half off or so. But yeah, call us. Tell us if you play an instrument or anything.
Yeah. Or if you're interested in more about CATV and what Chico does here, definitely call and ask him a question. He's very good at answering them, even if it doesn't make any sense. I think I came in one time, and what was it I was asking you, Chico? I'm trying to think. I was trying to make sense of, how to do a show in there for our wedding.
Oh,
How
yeah.
we were going to do that and everything.
Yep.
And so it took you a few minutes to be able to. So we'll get this. We'll figure it out, and we did.
Yeah, I remember the wedding fairly well because you wanted Mary to
Officiate.
Yep. So we put an iMac on the tallest table that we had, and put that at the head of the aisle. We put out some chairs. I think we put out some decorations, and I think the most complicated part of that was getting the right kind of wire far enough to the computer so that Mary could call in. But we did it.
Yeah.
We made it happen.
Yeah, it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever been a part of. I love my husband very much, and we celebrate our marriage every year. And even, do you know that we celebrate our first date?
Oh, really?
Yeah, our very first date. Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, it's something about, I don't know. I think it's something that I dreamed up first because, I'm one of these people that, am so excited to be married to my husband. I love him to death, and I want everybody else to love him too and love me. Give me loves, right, Chico?
Yeah, of course.
Right, Mary? Give me loves.
That's right.
Call in and give me loves.
So I'm just noticing right now we've only got about 5 minutes left. So if we want to give some final messages or something, now is the time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Mary, did you want to give a final message?
Well, first, I want to thank you, Chico, for your patience, for your expertise, for your wisdom. I am so grateful to have this ability for us to work together, for Life School 101 and Walking Through Life TV to be making such a huge impact out there in the world through advocacy and learning. And I can't thank you enough. I've worked with lots of producers over the years, and it's an incredible thing when you have a connection with a group of people and we pull these things off, and it's all because of you. that wedding became special because you were behind the scenes orchestrating everything.
That's
And
right.
taking our idea and bringing it to reality. And that's why I call you the wizard. And so thank you. And you are such a great asset to CATV and the whole community with all of the camps and everything you do. And you deserve those trophies.
Yes.
Okay?
Everyone.
You do. Because you're such a rock star at everything that you do. And so thank you. That's my message today. And thank you everybody out there for watching and being a part of what we do.
Well, you're welcome. And I would say that it's not all because of me. You said that that wedding happened all because of me, and it takes it takes a bunch of people with ideas and desire to pull things off to get these videos up. Yeah, I do the technical things. I plug in the wires, but you guys bring the content and are actually what is people are watching for. So thank you guys for that.
Oh, thank you, Chico.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been so great interviewing you today, and we had a lot of fun, And I know that we're just about ready for video camps. But I didn't want anybody to lose hope out there about Life School or Walking Through Life, because I know Mary's going to be doing some Facebook Lives. I'm going to be going out in the community and some events and stuff like that, and then posting them up. So Walking Through Life be out on the street, and so won't CATV, because I'm going to be doing some functions for them. But Chico, I agree with Mary. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you're just such a good teacher. To me, you have a lot of patience, and if I have an idea, you help me figure out how to do that. And I'm just so glad to know you. I'm just so glad to have met you. And peace and love, brother.
Well, thank you very much.
So, are we at the end?
We're getting there. This piece of paper says we have to end at 12:43:15, and we're at 12:40:45. So we have 2 minutes 15 seconds left. Any last thoughts?
Any last thoughts? Let's see. So during video camp, what are the ages of the kids?
We are mostly dealing with kind of middle schoolers. I believe about 11 to 13 is the general range, so younger folk.
You like that though. You like teaching kids.
Yeah, as I was saying, I worked at a school before this, and I worked with a wide range of ages and abilities, and that was really rewarding. And then I came here, and so kind of continued that a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's good. That's so important too. So the last question I wanted to ask you, Chico, is let's see. When you have to do studio, you don't have to, but when you do shows, how many different shows does CATV have being produced here in the studio?
Inside the studio, let's see, there's Walking Through Life, there's Life School 101, there's Raising Questions with Dean Brown, there's Screaming in the Darkness, there's A Closer Look, there's Valley News Digest, there is Life Preppers with Douglas the Juggler, and then a lot of just kind of one-offs. Sometimes people have an idea for a longer series that they want to do, and it doesn't necessarily materialize, but sometimes we get maybe like a pilot in or something like that. We've got about 45 seconds, 30 seconds or so.
Okay.
I think I'm going to wave goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
And maybe I'll fade in the music.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
How do I do this?
How do I do this? I love it.